Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Lace Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated Championship Night on LSRTV as round 12 of the 2015-2016 Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series brings the fifth season of competition to a close this evening for round 3 on the Upstate Racing League Chase for the Championship. The Lace Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 200 for the new Smyrna Speedway starts right now on live sim racing TV and iRacing Live. We're happy to have you along for the ride with us for one final Thursday night of sim racing short track action. Myself, Evan Pasoko, joined by Ben Kilcrease topside and LSRTV's executive producer Laura Lawson, getting us on the air this evening. And we started with 14 drivers just now 2 weeks ago, Ben, fighting for the championship. And into tonight, the conversation down to 2 names. Brandon Otto, defending series champion, going back-to-back in victory lane. He's 8 points in front of Joshua Cotton. They sit 1-2 in the standings, and those are going to be the drivers that everybody is looking at tonight.
Certainly is, and like we've seen all season here in Upstate, anything can happen. So don't count out Cotton yet. He's 8 points back, but at the end of the night, he could be in victory lane, and he could be walking away with a championship because anything is possible. We've seen that all season, especially here in New Smyrna. This track right here, it's just down the road from Daytona. You know how crazy things can get at Daytona. Take those and multiply that by 2, and then you have New Smyrna Speedway.
It is one of my favorite short tracks on the sim. I had the opportunity to check this place out during Daytona Speed Weeks back in 2015. It's always fun, though, on the sim. It always provides excited action. This 0.48-mile oval going to bring us 200 laps, the longest race of the season, 96 miles total distance from start to finish tonight in the Lace Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 200. And we're excited into tonight's race because, again, it brings the 5th season of series competition to a close. Justin Fuller won and swept basically the first 3 seasons, becoming a 3-time champ last year. Season 4, Otto picked up his first tonight. Otto looking to pick up his 2nd championship in the Upstate Racing League, but it is not guaranteed. The situations are abundant for him to clinch, but if you're Joshua Cotton and you're 2nd, there's a whole lot of scenarios, but you need him to finish no better than 7th. You need that 24 to finish outside the top 7, outside the top 8 without bonus points, and then so on and so forth. So the way Brandon Otto has been racing all season, but especially the last 2 weeks, man, that puts Joshua Cotton in a position where he can win this race and still not really come close. He's in a tough spot because he can do everything that he needs tonight, but he's going to have to hope for the 24 machine to have a rough go.
Yeah, Odo, just the way his season's been going, he's going to have a terrible night tonight for Cotton to walk away with this championship. Like you said, Cotton could lead every lap. Set it on the pole. He's not going to put it on the pole. Qualifying is complete, though. He could lead the most laps, lead a lap, and win this race. And Brandon Otto could finish 2nd, and Otto would still grab the championship by a handful of points. Otto's just going to – the best case scenario for Cotton is Otto to be caught up in something early. And for him to have a hard night ahead of him, that's about the only way Cotton – I don't want to say the only way he's going to have a shot at it because he's got a shot at it, but Otto, just the way he's been running this season, Otto's going to have a terrible night. Cotton's going to have to have one of his best so far of the season to walk away with this championship here this evening.
And to prove that that's not impossible, you mentioned the name Justin Fuller because he was in control of this championship, wrecked out of round 11 in last week's race for the 2nd round of the championship. He's still 3rd, but 17 points back is a long way to climb on a 19-car grid. So that basically took Fuller out of contention here tonight. Do you want to talk about for a brief moment our A-to-Z Wraps Rookie of the Year championship standings, currently led by Bruce Hilton, AJ Hamill, Justin McDuff, Mike Holtzclaw, Dylan Goodette, your top 5 rookies into tonight's race. And we mentioned a couple of times this year that the rookies have been very impressive. However, the 15-minute qualifying session just now drawing to a close. It is time to get tonight's Upstate Racing League Championship Night on LSRTV officially underway. So with that, we'll toss things down trackside for tonight's pre-race ceremonies and to Jaden Berkey for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Qualifying now done. The cars are on the starting grid. With that, we'll take a look at tonight's iRacing Beams starting lineup for the Lays Enterprises MP Roy 200. At the NHRAC, the pole position award going to go to Justin Fuller. He'll lead us to the green flag tonight. AJ Bunch starting second. TJ Graves in third. Nicholas Rasmussen fourth. And fifth spot on the grid. Second in the championship is Joshua Kahn. Now Smith Jr. going to start sixth. Seventh is Brian Rogers Jr. CJ LaVere, eighth. Championship leader Brandon Otto at 9th, and 10th is with Brandon Wilkinson.
Dan Dubuque rolls off 11th, 12th to Kel Frenier. Charlie Ryan is 13th, EJ O'Rourke 14th, Eric Hagg is 15th, 16th to Bruce Hilton, Dylan Gannett is 17th, 18th to Mike Holtzclaw, 19th to Brandon Atkins, 20th to Jay Dubuque, AJ Hamill, Justin McDuff round out our starting lineup.
And the one to go signal that time by. It's been an exciting 11 weeks on LSRTV in the 5th season of Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series competition draws to a close tonight. And as always, we're happy to have you with us on LSRTV and iRacing Live. The American Childhood Cancer Organization Ford Mustang GT pace car going to make the sharp left-hand turn down to the safety of the pit lane. Justin Fuller going to bring us across the start-finish line. Green flag in here in New Smyrna. We're racing in the season finale for the 2015-2016 Lays Enterprises MP Roy Pro Late Model Series. Battle for the race lead down to turn number 3 already. Fuller, not quite the jump he wanted on the drop of the green flag. He'll take the lead, though, off of turn number 4 and puts lap number 1 in the books in front of AJ Bunch, who falls to second.
TJ Graves, who has had in his words, a terrible season, one of his worst in iRacing since third, always runs at the top of this thing, but at the end of the races, he usually ends up with a DNF. He's looking to change that luck here tonight in this 200 lapper. 200 laps, a long way from green flag to checkered here tonight. Evan and these guys taking it easy early on, not too much racing, everybody getting single file. Big movers so far. I've been keeping my eye on him. Brandon Otto leads the points heading into tonight. He's already up to 6th.
He just put a pass on the 20 of Al Smith Jr. Al, surprisingly enough, one of the guys that we've seen picking it up here late in the season. He's third in the iRacing Union's power rankings, but not enough to face off Brandon Otto, who is your championship leader and who, by the way, sits atop those power rankings. He makes another move. That's +3. He goes to 6th. That 20 of Smith Jr., he's going to be left to fight on his own against the 12 of Brian Rogers Jr. Going to take 7th spot away from him, and down the 44 of CJ LaVere. Going to take 8th away from him in just a lap or so, as they stay side by side, but everybody inside of the top 7, 8, and now 9 and 10. Single file out, and that includes your race leaders. Brandon Otto in 6th, Joshua Cotton in 5th. That's the current look at your championship picture. A couple of rule changes into tonight's race, being 200 laps and the longest race all season long. 2 sets of tires are available to these drivers, or 8 tires total down pit side. You can take 2 swings of full 4-tire service, and you can come down 4 times for right sides only. But as opposed to just 1 set, there are 2 sets of tires available, and there is a caution clock per se in effect. If we go 75 laps of green flag racing uninterrupted, a caution flag would slow us down at that point. Something to keep an eye on tonight.
Love the idea of the 2 sets. This is a longer race than we've had all season, so 2 sets is certainly a good idea. And they took the 75 lap caution idea for the real life snowball derby Tim Bryant and the crew down there say, hey, we don't want things to get spread out. We don't want them to get too boring, so we're going to throw a caution if there's more than 75 laps of green flag racing at a time. So that'll be the thing, like you said, to watch out for. Almost like the caution clock that they did implement in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Things, though, laps ticking away as we work lap 9. Brandon Odo sits 6. He's working on reeling in Joshua Cotton and the whole little bunch in front of him. Those two, I'm going to be interested to see how they battle each other all night when they are around each other on the racetrack, Evan.
Yeah, tonight starts off good for Joshua Cotton. Qualifies 5th, and he still runs there now, but he out-practiced as well. Brandon Odo, Cotton second on the practice charge. Brandon Odo back at 5th. He out-qualified him by 4 spots, but you talk about the 24 not messing around. He's already got that iRacing Williams Corvette, as we said, up 3 spots in the opening 2 laps. And now at lap 11 of 200 already, that 24 continues to ride in the number 6 spot. And he's trying to catch up to the 81 again. Joshua Cotton needs to beat Brandon Odo. If he gets all the bonus points and the 24 gets none, by 7 spots. If everybody walks away with equal amount of bonus points, you're looking at needing 8 to 9 spots in front of the 24 to make up the 8 points. It makes sense, and that's the uphill battle that number 81 of Joshua Cotton faces into tonight. The good news for him is that it doesn't look like he's letting the 24 catch him, but running P5 right now, not going to cut it. The top 5 still relatively close together, though. Justin Fuller got out in front in turn 4 on the opening lap. He's led it all the way since without much challenge, and in fact, pulling every single time by. That time, 2/10 to the positive over the teammate to our championship leader, Brandon Odo. AJ Bunches, number 68 iRacing Williams entry, running in second. Now 0.8 of a second back. We talk about TJ Graves. He's in a familiar spot in third, and a Nicholas Rasmussen in fourth. Then you'll find Cotton in fifth. There's no shortage of cars around that 81 if he wants to get aggressive here early. He's got plenty in front of him.
That he does, and he's got a battle right in front of him too. Rasmussen looks low down in 3 and 4, trying to get the pass on TJ Graves. Me coming into this night, I'm kind of under my breath rooting for TJ Graves to have a good night. It would be pretty cool to see him walk out of here with a victory, as we are on board with Rasmussen now down into turn number 3. But it'd be interesting. It'd be fun to see TJ Graves, and he'd be ecstatic down in victory lane if we got to talk to him in victory lane after putting his machine down there tonight. He's bound to have a good race, and this is the last race of the season, so what better night to get it done than tonight?
Yeah, this is one of the series that we covered that has one of the longer off seasons. Again, you wrap things up here at about the beginning of February, and we don't go back racing until late in this year for what's going to be somewhere in the range of about a 15-race championship. I know the schedule not quite yet released. We're looking forward to the 2016-2017 campaign, but it is far away, so the conversation is not limited to Brandon Odo or Joshua Cotton. You talk about TJ Graves, has had good cars but has not had the results, failed to qualify for the Upstate Racing League chase for the championship. He wants to walk away with a win. Another driver with the chip on his shoulder is Justin Fuller after his problems last week, but a caution flag can hold us at lap number 19, first yellow on the evening.
Mike Holtzclaw, number 2, gets caught up in a little scurry off of turn number 4 and into the inside wall. He goes, bringing out our first caution of the night. Quite a bit of damage on that number 2.
And the 2 machine gets turned around, and the 04 machine, the driver that the blame is being placed on, at least Brandon Wilkinson, not happy with the 04 machine of Brandon Atkins, although Wilkinson and Atkins battling with each other. If in all of that, really the guy that was the innocent victim was that 2 of Mike Holtzclaw. His Miller High Life Chevy got turned into the inside wall. Did bring out the first caution flag of the evening, and it looks like Brandon Wilkinson going to be the first driver down pit side, is running though outside of the top 15. We do mention that this is the Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated Pro Late Model Series. Les Enterprises MP Roy, a big part of stepping up for this 2015-2016 campaign, coming on as the series title sponsor. Want to give a big shout out to them. A little bit of history on who they are and what they do. They were formed in 2007 as Canada's only authorized racing electronics dealership and as a trackside parts vendor. They have since expanded their offering at major companies facilities that Les Enterprises Roy offers are ARB Bodies, Cobalt Racing Products, Jones Racing Products, Leaf Raceware, Longa Care Racing Products, Port City Race Cars, Racing Electronics, Receiver, and Swift Springs, plus many more. For more information regarding Les Enterprises, MP Roy Incorporated, or their product offering, you can check them out on their website at lesenterprisesmproyinc.com or give them a call at 1-877-35-MP-ROY. That's 1-877-356-7769. Quick caution flag's going to get us right back underway. Fuller was just stretching his legs and getting out in front. We'll have to deal with another restart, but the point I was making about him was we saw him in this championship conversation. Have been minus that accident last week. It could be him right now running in the spot that will lock up a title. So like TJ Graves, like many of the guys out here tonight, while bittersweet it may be, looking for some redemption to close the season off with.
And he's starting the night off good. I mean, he is looking to be the dominant car in these first opening 20 or so laps as we get set for the restart down in 3 and 4. I'm going to see what he does up here on the outside, though, from this restart. Fuller going to lead us to the green flag.
The pace car drops down. The 51 chooses top side. Green flag back in the air. First time off of a caution flag tonight. He's gone. Give him 4 or 5 car lengths in turn number 1. Battle going to be for second. It's an interesting one. Top side for the 71. Nicholas Rasmussen, not quite. Almost got down in front of the number 14 Rasmussen. Rookie just 1 year ago. 4th in the championship. Into tonight wants to battle for possibly a podium position. It's an important spot for him. He'll get the job done outside at lap 25. Give Rasmussen to P2. Drop AJ Bunch now back to 3rd. Second time in a row he's lost a spot on a restart.
Most definitely, and you're going to see that outside come in as the race goes on. These guys are going to start inching down closer and closer to that bottom side. The outside groove will be trying to pinch those guys down on the inside, and that outside, it does work here at New Smyrna Speed. It works in real life and it works here on the sim, and you're going to see that as the race goes on. We're 25 laps into this thing. Not too big of a reason to get real racy up there on the outside, but if this thing comes down to a late restart with 20-30 laps to go, that outside lane might be the preferred one at the end of this thing.
Another side-by-side fight, a little bit back at the back seats. The number 12 of Brian Rogers Jr., the Mountain Dew entry inside of the racetrack, trying to hang on to the number 9 spot. EJ O'Rourke on the attack. The attack soon going to become a defensive spot, though, because the 12 gets clear. He slides up in the front. O'Rourke gives him a shot to the back bumper, and all of that opens up the inside for the 26 Jack Daniels entry. Dylan Godet, who wants to battle for the number 10 spot, and he'll continue to battle now down to turns 1 and 2. A little bit of side-by-side behind them for a moment. Eric Hagg, Brandon Atkins duking things out for 12th and 13th. The Hagg TV entry could win that battle for the time being. And in fact, in front of them, it looks like EJ O'Rourke going to succumb to the 26. So put back Godet to 10th position. Drop EJ O'Rourke back to 11th position. I mentioned Dylan Godet, one of the bigger movers so far. He's up 7 spots from where he started.
Running good. You see, he's up there in that middle group trying to fill it out for maybe a late race run up to the front of this thing. Good battle going on behind those guys between Eric Hagg, O'Rourke, and the 04 back, and you can throw him in there, and even throw in Kel Frenner back there in the four-car battle up here, all trying to get that 11th position away from EJ O'Rourke. Not much going on up front. Justin Fuller out in front of this thing, dominating here early. Rasmussen leads a train, though, of 4, 5, 6 cars from second all the way back to 7th.
And at 7th spot is the Fanatec 81 Machina. Joshua Cotton, problems though for Atkins. Caution flag is out. The 04 turned around on the back straightaway at lap number 32. And he's got some heavy damage on board. It looks like it's hard to place blame on anybody else than that. What it looked like Brandon Atkins running in 13th position. He got a little bit sideways off the corner. He came down over the nose of the CFK construction entry of Cale Frenier, and the 4 machine not able to check up in time. He turns that 4-car hard into the inside wall.
Bad break for Atkins there. That's about as hard as you can hit a wall on a short track, like he did on the back straightaway there. His night definitely going to be over, or suspended at least for quite a while. Puts us under our second caution of the night, though, here, and these guys up at the front, scratching their head, all of them except for Justin Fuller, who is just dominating this thing. I'm going to be interested to see what Rasmussen does on this restart. If anybody's got anything for Fuller, it's going to be that 71.
And the 51 by far and large has been the class of the field so far. Just before the yellow flew, though, was talking about Joshua Cotton in the Fanatec entry, back in 7th spot under that green flag run. Restarted 5th. You'd think that was good news. He lost 2 spots, and one of the spots was Brandon Otto. TJ Graves and CJ LeVere put a 3rd spot on him as 3 drivers in total got around. Another driver that was in front of him also dropped behind. But now you find yourself with Brandon Otto in the number 4 spot and Joshua Cotton back in 7th. Bad news for the driver of the 81. He needs to be making up points, not losing them.
Most definitely. And the race is still young. Only working 35 of 200, but it's better to go ahead and try and get up there and get some of those points early on so you don't have to work so hard later in the race. The way things are going right now, Odo, he's looking to be the favorite for the championship this early.
Lights still on top of the base car. We look for them to go off this time by, if not the next time around. We're working lap 36 of 200. For the new Smyrna Speedway, it is the season finale for the 2015-2016 Upstate Racing League Enterprises MP Roy Pro Late Model Series on LSRTV. Championship leader, if you're just tuned in, the number 24 of Brandon Otto enters tonight on top of the pile, looking to take home his 2nd consecutive Pro Late Model Series championship. 8 points ahead of Joshua Cotton. Well, Cotton is 7th, and Otto is 4th at the moment, so the 24 winning that exchange. Interestingly enough, for this one, Fuller wants the bottom for the restart as the lights go off.
It's going to give the 14 of Bunch a better restart on that bottom, and I think Fuller knows that Rasmussen has to be one of his toughest competitions in the field, so he's going to give Bunch the advantage on the inside to get the better restart and hopefully get around Rasmussen and keep him behind him. That way he's not on the bumper at a 51.
Second time, pace car drops down. American Ethanol, green flag flies, and we go back underway. 51, just like before, no problems for Fuller. He ducks high into the corner, sweeps down low, gets the arc. No battle, though, for second. It's quick work of the 14 of AJ Bunch. The 71 of Nicholas Rasmussen going to take over the number 2 spot, and it is a battle between teammates for 3rd on track. Topside going to win it for Brandon Otto. First time on the podium for the driver of the 24 this evening, and not good news for AJ Bunch. He continues to slot. He started outside pole. Now he's back to P5, the 44. CJ LeVere, the Speed Force entry. Next driver to get the best of him.
And finally, Bunch going to be able to slide up into the groove and hold off TJ Graves in the 16, who's in the wall right behind him. Trouble back straightaway. Rogers is into the inside wall in the 12. That was right outside your contender for the championship here tonight. No caution, we stay green, but a close call for Joshua Cotton.
And at 12, Brian Rogers Jr. took a big lick onto the inside of retaining wall after he got clipped coming off the corner by the 16. An innocent victim, one of your championship drivers. Heavy black smoke. That car goes right out to the pit. So his night is done. A tough break for Brian Rogers Jr., not the season championship that he was looking for at all. And with that, it caused quite a stir just outside of the top 10. A couple of guys ducking high and low, trying to get out of the way. They went too wide, about 3 rows deep at one point. It looks like everybody single filed out for the time being to get back to P10, where you'll find a disagreement between the 16 and the 4. Gilfredier and Charlie Ryan battling for 10th overall. Contact off of 2. This one getting good. 4.5 seconds off of the top spot.
Oh, that's good old short track racing here. New Smyrna Speedway. O'Rourke tags the wall in front of those guys. O'Rourke runs 8th. Now he falls back tonight as Gadet gets her by, and now O'Rourke has problems on the right front. Almost hits the wall again down in turn 1. O'Rourke was looking to start picking up some positions there and tags the wall on the front straightaway. Knocks him back a little bit further. He's able to hold off Frenier for the time being, though. O'Rourke holds on to that 9th spot. Frenier's got his hands full with the 16 of Charlie Ryan.
Ryan behind one of the drivers that has had a pretty good start to this race. EJ O'Rourke had a really good start. got top 10 quickly. I say he's fallen to 9th at the moment, but he's only been losing spots on the last couple of restarts. But overall, still a good start to the evening. And behind him, Kel Frenier. Didn't we just talk about that 4 being involved in an accident, an innocent victim with the 4 machine with that front end damage and all? Putting on the pressure, trying to crack a single-digit spot. He runs in 10th, and he's not giving any extra room to the 16 top side. Charlie Ryan, Kel Frenier continue to battle over 10th spot.
These guys putting on a good show. Look at that outside work for Ryan as he gets the run off of turn 2 there. He'll dive it down in turn 3 and get another good run off of 40 outside line. Working for Ryan, and he's going to complete the pass on the front stretch. He'll bring the 99 of Hag with him. Frenier might just be saying, hey, go ahead, race at it. I'm going to stay back here and save my stuff this early on as we work to complete lap 48, inching on close to that 50 lap mark.
And no problems for that 98 of Eric Hag, as you mentioned, started 15th, now at 11th as he makes the move on the outside of the racetrack. One driver that kind of tiptoed through there, didn't mention him all that much, as O'Rourke going to get sideways at a 2, just picked up a spot back. He'll lose at least one more. The 16 of Charlie Ryan and now Eric Hag, both going to pounce on the opportunity, and the Gary Mercer truck and incorporated car now back 2 spots. It may be 3. There goes the 4 machine of Kel Frenier. So when it rains, it pours. Not a good stint for E.J. O'Rourke, and he'll just back it off and give it up and duck in behind Al Smith Jr. One bobble could cost him 5 spots just like that. The driver I'm talking about, though, Dylan Godette, started 17th tonight, running in 8th position. He's quite the length behind 7th place runner Joshua Cotton, but overall for picking up 9 spots early in this race, as we do take quarter distance that time by at lap 50. Not a bad start for the Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey Machine. In front of the field, it is Justin Fuller. No surprise, at 0.8 of a second. That's about been the mean average for where he's been sitting out in front. And it's also been Rasmussen all night long in second. Brandon Otto looked like he was storming through the field. Your championship leader still sits in 3rd. However, he's working a little bit more defensively than offensively. He's well behind the top 2, 1.7 seconds off of the top spot to be exact. But he's got C.J. LaVere, A.J. Bunch, T.J. Graves, Joshua Cotton all over his back deck. Let those 4 drivers behind him within just 1 second.
And if one guy gets to the outside or the inside of Odo, that could drop Odo outside the top 5, even outside that top 7 mark where Joshua Cotton sits right now. I don't think they're going to push the issue too hard this early in the race, knowing that he is the points leader heading into tonight. Although LaVere, we have seen him in weeks past. We go back to the Stafford race. He did get a little aggressive. Now he's going to look low on Odo as they race down into turn number 3. That'll be for the 3rd spot. Odo gives it up and falls right back in the line. Smart move by your points leader.
In the 24 knew that if he tried to battle back, he might keep himself at a bad spot. He ducked down in line, and he's only going to lose 1 spot. And again, we talked about it, especially last week. A little bit of a rough race. A lot of your championship competitors, for that matter, getting involved in a couple of incidents with guys that weren't competing for the championship. But again, C.J. LaVere, we know he wants to win. He's well aware of the 24 situation. He'll race him hard, but he won't wreck him. He won't do anything that he doesn't need to. And I think the 44, a good balance there of applying the pressure, waiting till he had a good move, and taking the inside when it was the legitimate option. And with that, C.J. LaVere, who started on the outside of round number 4, he's now running on the podium, 3rd spot. Going to be interesting to see if he can catch up to Nicholas Rasmussen at all in 2nd, who his deficit to Justin Fuller has just doubled in the last 2 laps from 0.8 to 1.6 back in 2nd.
Yeah, it's interesting watching these top 3 guys as they race it out. This is obviously one of our longest runs of the night. Top 3 pretty similar in lap times that time by. Fuller just a tick faster than 2nd. Rasmussen just a tick faster than LaVere. We go back to a couple races ago. Evan, remember, LaVere, he was the guy to beat on these long runs, and I'm starting to see the same pattern start to play out tonight with that 44. He gets around Odo, opens up that lead back to that pack, and now he closes in on 2nd. Sooner or later, if we keep clicking off laps like we are, he could be chasing down your leader.
Yeah, we talk about stretching things out on a green flag run. 2 relatively early caution flags inside of the opening 35 some odd laps of this race. It makes the math somewhat easy because if we get towards lap 105, 110, you'll start to be looking at the point where that 75-lap caution flag rule would have come into effect. So you know that if you're starting to fall behind like Rasmussen or Oliver, that you don't need to force the issue because you know that there is going to be a point in this race at which you'll get a yellow. Pit road still a well opportunity. I seen a couple of guys come down for some tires. Nobody from within inside of the top 5, at least top 8 I can guarantee, possibly the top 10, coming down for service because they've all been holding their track position so far. That's going to become a factor, so just don't lose touch. Experiment. Try to figure things out. Again, the more rubber that gets put down on this track, it changes.
Sorry to cut you off there. It was with Joshua Cotton. He gets into the inside of A.J. Bunch. He almost gets into Cadet there. Cotton going to fall back with some right front damage. Very close call for a championship contender last time through 3 and 4.
And I mentioned C.J. Laver taking it easy on the 24. That's kind of exactly what I was thinking about, is that he didn't force the issue. That 81, but Cotton's getting desperate. That was more of a forced move, I feel.
Oh, yeah. He sees that Odo is in front of him, and he needs Odo 8 months behind him. You know that Cotton's starting to feel the pressure. He wants this championship just as bad as Odo does, and he knows he's not going to be able to win it behind the 24.
He's lucky to be able to hang on to it, but he runs in 8th spot. So if only it hurt him, because now he's still 4 spots behind Brandon Odo, who has fallen to the number 4 spot. We mentioned the 24 machine gave up the position to C.J. Laver. Laver closing on Rasmussen, but not the fastest driver on track because the 71 has started to fall off at quite a rapid pace from Justin Fuller. Battle for a second, going to be on the plate in a moment because that 44 there, half a car length in forward.
Oh, yeah. Rasmussen, he's going to fall back to 3rd here in a lap or 2. Laver going to look to the outside here. Now he'll swing down low, get run down the hill, down the back straight. Oh, boy, does he look? Take a look in 3. No, he's going to do the same down in 3 and 4. Battle for second is heated up, and Laver, you're going to be able to give it to him here in a lap or 2 as he has caught, looking to get around Rasmussen while these guys continue to battle it out. Justin Fuller, he is continuing to pull away up front. It was 2.9 last time by. It was 3.0 this past time by, and it'll probably expand a little bit further as Rasmussen and Laver continue to battle it out for that runner-up spot.
And a 71 going to push high that time into the 44 sees his opportunity. They're going to go side by side. Can he get clear in time, though? Lap traffic in front. The 65 of Jay DeBuke. Going to back off the gas, go to the inside, and a good move to stay out of that conversation as DeBuke now falls 2 laps down, running in 18th position, and a close call there. That 71 machine Rasmussen just not hooking up center off as much as you would like. Lap 71 going to be the magic number. The 44, C.J. Laver. Speed 4, Chevrolet up to 2nd. Rasmussen now falls to 3rd. Not before, though, that 50 would adjusted Fuller has pulled out now 4 seconds in front of that battle.
Unbelievable run tonight by Justin Fuller this early stint. Remember, still have that 75-lap green flag caution coming up soon. I'd say, I can't remember exactly when we took the last caution, but we'll get a number on that here in a second. But that caution is coming up soon, so I'm not sure if these guys are just saving their stuff, or if they are trying to push and chase down Justin Fuller here in this early run. Either way, Justin Fuller, he is absolutely on a rail. It's going to take him making a huge mistake or a lap car making a mistake beside him for any of these guys to have anything for him under a green flag condition. Battle heating up back for 5th. It's getting good back there between A.J. Bunch and T.J. Graves. Graves all over the back bumper of Bunch, wanting to get back into that top 5.
And the 22 getting a little bit physical over it. One shot into the corner, takes another look inside through the middle. It is the battle for the number 5 spot on track. A.J. Bunch has it. T.J. Graves wants it. And normally when the 22 is involved in a battle, it's a fun one to watch. You can see the 22 machine not quite in the spot yet, so he wants to move that 14 up and out of the way and do it the old-fashioned way. He needs to keep in mind, though, I mentioned Dylan Godet behind, now up to 7th. He's gained 10 spots from the start of the race. If TJ's focused too much on A.J. Bunch in front of him, he could open up the door for Dylan Godet to pounce on him, but the 22, the 14, they stay physical at 1 and 2. More contact that time, all over each other at 77.
Spectacular racing these guys putting on for us. Like you said, Graves is always putting on a show for us on LSRTV. No matter what car he's in, no matter what position he's battling for, he's always battling hard to get around the guy in front of him, and he is wearing out the rear bumper of AJ Bunch here as we inch closer to the halfway point of New Smyrna Speedway. Graves again right to the rear bumper. Cadet, he looked like he was going to try the outside down in 3 and 4. Didn't work too well for him. These guys up in front battling. While they are battling as hard as they are, continuing to pull away from Joshua Cotton, who has just not had the night he needs tonight.
It started off well, but it has gone downhill since, and I don't think there's any damage on that Fanatec 81 Chevrolet. We did mention the contact that Cotton was involved with about 20 laps ago now. Does not appear to be anything, at least cosmetically, that we can see. Maybe a problem underneath the car, but really it has been downhill since the green flag dropped in this race. The battle for 5th not over. We'll call it a 3-way battle now because Dylan Gadet starting to get physical towards the back end of the double clutch, number 22 machine. If you're AJ Punch, how many more hits do you want to take before you just get out of the guy's way, though? They continue to go at it. 6.1 seconds off of the top spot. We won't quite look forwards now, but I do want to mention CJ Laveras brought a 4-second gap down to 2.5. Those guys aren't all that far away from finding each other at the front of the field, but right now all the action for P5.
I told you, Lavere going to be the guy to watch out for on these long runs, but the action's still going on back here for P5, and these guys are racing out Brandon Odo. Almost looks like a right side damage on that 24. He has slowed down tremendously. These guys catching up to that 24 quite quickly. This is going to be a battle for the 4th spot here in the next couple of laps.
And at 24 does not want to find himself in front of a battle between the 14 and the 22. The good news in this is that AJ Punch is his teammate, but in any other scenario, the 14 is going to want to get around you as quickly as he can so that he can get away from the guy that's been beating his back bumper off for the last 25 laps. So it'll be interesting because it is going to become a 4-car battle for 4th. Odo, Bunch, Graves, Godet, the 22 machine has had a couple of opportunities to dive bomb it to the inside, but he hasn't. So while it looks like TJ Graves is driving like a madman out there, and you could argue that he is, he's being physical, but he's not driving over his head quite yet. And another shot that time into 3, delivering the message at lap 85.
If I'm Brandon Odo, I see this behind. I'm getting word from Meister that TJ Graves is just tearing the rear bumper up on AJ Bunch. If Graves gets to my rear bumper, I'm the points leader. I don't want him touching me. I'm going to let him go right on by because I'm in the position that I need to be in. I'm not going to win the race, but I've got a championship on the line, and I sure don't need to be turned around backwards by TJ Graves at this stage in the race and risk getting possible more damage from other cars coming in. So Odo, he's going to be faced with a decision here. Does he fall behind TJ Graves or does he try and hold off his teammate as the battle is now for that 4th position as they race down into 1?
And we can't be much more than 25, 30 laps away from the 75-lap window for the caution flag either. So how long does it take these guys to get this battle sorted out? You don't want Brandon Odo to back off and then a caution come out right after he gives up 3 spots. And you saw TJ Graves get sideways that time in the quarter. But I do think that 24 machine in this scenario, he can be, I guess, laid back and lax because of the fact that Joshua Cotton is not having that good of a night. If the 81's up there inside the top 3, you got to sit there and take it. Because that 81 machine has not had a good evening, I think Brandon Odo can take it easy. If Odo were to finish dead last on the lead lap, the way they run right now, he would still be the champion by about 1 point. So the 24 machine, plenty of wiggle room if he wants to take it easy, but he's been able to hold 2 car lengths in front of the company behind him in Bunch and Graves since they caught up to him. Forward though, Lavere, battle for the race lead, coming up at lap 91. The gap is now below a second between the 51 and the 44.
And look at the huge amount of cars right in front of your leader. He's 6 cars that are racing pretty hard. 4 positions, and not only 4 positions, but to try and stay on the lead lap. CJ, that time by 2 tenths quicker than your leader Fuller. Fuller gets around 1 lap car. Now, here comes the fun part as they are racing side by side, racing pretty hard up there in front of him. They're going to be mindful for the leader, but they're also not going to want to give up that position too easily. Justin Fuller's going to have his hands full here in a lap or 2.
He's got the side-by-side company, and then there's at least 2-3 other cars in that mix as well. We're side-by-side for 5th, though. TJ Graves gave up on the bottom. He went high and sliding high. That time off the corner. AJ Bunch crowds the 22. Graves is going to get out of the gas. I think he kept it out of the fence, but that's not going to make things settle down at all. If anything, can crank it up another notch as that 22 regroups. He loses 2 car lengths. He's got to try to get back to him.
I don't think Graves going to be too happy from that move, as Odo going to lose a position to his teammate AJ Bunch here. Ready for losing one to TJ Graves. TJ Graves gets into him. A close call for your points leader. That's exactly what I was talking about right there. And now they're going to go 3 wide with the points leader on 4.
And at 24, High Side will back out of it, and he'll give up 4 spots in 2 laps to get clear. But look at that 26 of Dylan Godet. I said TJ can't get too concerned with the driver in front of him and ignore the driver behind him. Well, Bunch gets 4th. Godet's going to end up 5th, and TJ Graves still sitting in P6 now. Meanwhile, Brennan falls to 8th.
A lot of action happening in a span of 2 or so laps there. Leaders, lap traffic, Justin Fuller working his way around the lap. Machine's a close call with the Ford Frenier on the front straightaway. Those was touch doors heading out into turn number 1. But for the most part, Fuller able to get by this lap traffic pretty easily, although CJ LeVere has caught him. He's cut into that lead tremendously.
And we go on board with both of those running in 1 and 2. It's Justin Fuller inside and in the middle of the lap traffic, and CJ LeVere getting set to tangle with him himself. So LeVere going to get up to the 4 machine. That's Cal Frenier, and then Brandon Wilkinson. Then you'll find Justin Fuller to the 51 machine, which normally I'd say more times than not your leader is the guy that kind of gets stuck in the lap traffic, and he gets caught up to it. The lap traffic right now working in his favor, and LeVere in the 4 plaster to each other's door that time, but at turn number 2, nobody catching the Speed Force Chevy any brakes. He's got to race these guys hard. He got 1. Got to get around the 56. Wilkinson going to stick the hand out the window there to wave him on by. He will lose a couple of tenths, though, in that exchange.
A lot of action going on as we are at the halfway point here in tonight's race. LeVere still trying to catch Fuller in that huge battle for 4th. A little bit on back, almost half a track back. That leads TJ Graves and Joshua Cotton. AJ Bunch has fallen back.
Contact the 24. Brandon Odo, he gets into the 98. Caution flag will fly. And that was Eric Hagg in the 24, or Brandon Odo. He avoids catastrophe, but he was falling back, I think, Ben, down in 11th spot when this happens. Went to let the 98 go, got into the left of Eric Hagg. Hagg saves it. I do believe that automatically triggered a caution flag, though. But Brandon Odo getting into the thick of things. He's now deep in the pack.
Yeah, and I'm definitely sure that the officials put Odo at fault for that caution. Because he playing up, hit a Hagg right there in the quarter panel, as everybody going to take this opportunity to head on down the pit road. 4 tires, a must, I'm pretty sure, on all these race cars. 4 fresh Hoosier Racing tires, and we're going to see now who has the fastest crew out there. I'm interested to see on this restart. LeVere, we know he's good on the long runs. How's he going to do on the short runs here up against Justin Fuller and even the rest of the pack behind him? Do we turn things up now? Joshua Cotton in the battle for the championship takes 2, and he's going to lead the field back to the green flag.
And it was a 14-second pit stop for the Fanatec Chevy. He will lead us back to the green flag when we return. Halfway home, though, for the new Smyrna Speedway. We'll step away, come back for the restart. You're watching the Lays Enterprises Imperial Incorporated 200 for the Upstate Race Elite Pro Late Model Series. Back live at the New Smyrna Speedway. Back and away we are, and now inside of the final 90 laps in the Lays Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 200. It is the season finale on the 2015-2016 Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series Championship tonight on LSRTV from the New Smyrna Speedway. Justin Fuller leads the field right now. Championship leader Brandon Otto runs in 11th. Championship challenger Joshua Cotton in 3rd. Put us in a current scenario where we're basically at a tie for the championship lead at lap 114 of 200. And that 81 Machida Cotton pulling the strategy car to stay out in front of the field with 2 tires. Over it has not worked out so far, and he's got a lot of hungry competition behind him. And if he wants to stay 3rd, Rasmussen and Ryan just on the back deck.
Still guaranteed another 75 lap green flag caution break in the closing laps of this race. So this is going to get interesting. I said anything could happen. I wasn't expecting Odo to be running 11th and Cotton 3rd after Odo was just up in a podium position not too long ago. 50 laps ago, he was in a position he was going to finish on the podium. Cotton was outside the top 7. The roles have reversed. Cotton's up here hungry for a championship. That's all he's running off of, is adrenaline and the strive to get that championship. And Brandon Otto is fighting to get into the top 10. Very interesting turn of events after the halfway break here as we close in on 118 this time by.
And you mentioned, with that being said, this is not going to be the final green flag stretch to the end. If we don't see a yellow, we're still capped off by the 75 lap caution flag rule. And with that 81 Machida Cotton just taking 2 tires that time, he's got plenty of tires still sitting on the pit lane. But the goal for him is you can't give up 3rd. You can't go any further back. Brandon Otto is as low as he can get on the lead lap. He's 11th out of 11 lead lap cars, but he's got a lot of selection in front of him. If he wants to fight with 3 wide, no, he'll have to back off. The 61 and the 4 mixing it up. The 4 Akil Frenier 1 lap down on the outside. The 61 lead lapper in 10th. Danny Dubuque on the inside at a 24 somewhere behind, trying to find a way through. Top side going to be the preferred lane for that number 24 Corvette. He'll take 10th away from that 61 at Dan Dubuque and get clear down to turn number 3. Now the gap is just 7 spots, and with that the championship swings back into the favor of the 24.
This is getting real interesting as we close in. 80 laps to go here at New Smyrna Speedway. Who would have thought we would have been punching the calculators as hard as we are right now to see who is in the points lead versus who isn't. Odo has it right now. He got real loose out of turn that time by. There is, I don't know if something happened to that, something broke under it that we don't know of on that last green flag stint, but that car, Evan, has not been the same ever since he started dropping back. He lost that top 5 position. It just has not been the same.
We thought it could have been the tires because he gave up those spots, but then again we did see contact with Eric Hagg, so although it doesn't look that bad, if it changes the car a little bit, it could hurt you. And that 24 Machida, while he's still in a decent spot in 10th position, there is still room for Joshua Cotton to gain. And with that being said, there is still a possibility of Brandon Otto losing this championship. The good news for him is that Cotton has not led any laps, so there's no bonus points in favor of the Fanatec entry. Of course, the 24 hasn't either, so he doesn't gain an advantage. So you need 8 spots. He's got 7 right now. It's not pretty, but it works for the time being. Joshua Cotton is sliding, though, back from CJ LaVere. CJ running 1 second off of Justin Fuller, who, surprise, surprise, is leading this race at lap 125. 75 laps to go at the virtual New Smyrna Speedway. And with all of that being said, it looks like it's going to be Cotton, the next driver, under attack. Nicholas Rasmussen, I'll give him credit. He's being patient with him for the moment. But eventually, once Charlie Ryan starts knocking on the door behind you, you're going to have to get going.
How about Charlie Ryan running 5th? He was in the wall at one point, almost had a big wreck on the back straightaway. Quite a bit of damage to the right side of that machine. He's up there in the top 5. Good run for the 16 here tonight. Al Smith Jr. back in the 6th position. He's having a good run. And then we go back to A.J. Bunch and then back to A.J. Hamill, who is in the championship race for the Rookie of the Year standings. And then you have TJ Graves, who's just trying to rebound from that halfway break. He is, oh man, cuts it close, gets into Hamill on the back straightaway. Now he dives low. TJ Graves still physical.
And the race goes on, and as the season wears down, he's not slowing down at all. So he gets a spot away for the 18, the Dunkin' Donuts entry of Hamill, somebody that we haven't talked about really tonight. I do want to give him credit. Second in our A-to-Z Wraps Rookie of the Year standings. Bruce Hilton leads those standings, and Hilton is in 18th position. So A.J. Hamill on track to steal the A-to-Z Wraps Rookie of the Year championship from Bruce Hilton in tonight's season finale. So a good push for the 18 Dunkin' Donuts Chevy. Started 21st, running in 9th position. However, looks like he'll be falling back to 10th soon, because here comes Brandon Oda, the 24, looking for another piece of insurance, and the 18 going to go high and wave him on by. Brandon Oda now back up to 9th, and the advantage in the points for the 24 goes back up to 2.
Still interesting as the laps to tick away. Odo still no room for error with a lot of cars in front of him and a couple behind him. They want to get back up there, get back further into the top 10, but like you said, another piece of insurance for Odo. It's just securing him a little bit further up the ladder as far as points go. Here as we close in on the final 70 or so laps here at New Smyrna Speedway. Joshua Cotton, he's going to be losing one, maybe two positions within the next couple of laps. Rasmussen still all over the rear bumper. Charlie Ryan is on the bumper of Rasmussen. Those guys are going to get impatient as the laps start to tick down. They're going to start to want to get around that number 81 for the podium position.
We'll talk some housekeeping pit side. It goes E.J. O'Rourke running 2 laps down at 18th position. He is one of about 8-9 drivers that are currently still on track but off of the lead lap. With 9 drivers on the lead lap, 1 lap down is Eric Hagg, Dylan Godet, Kill Frenier, Brandon Wilkinson, Justin McDuff in 12th through 15th on track. And then Bruce Hilton, 17th, 2 laps down. E.J. O'Rourke, 18th, 3 laps down. His night, though, going to come to a close as they push that car behind the fence. It'll give 18th to Jay DeBuke, who is running 3 laps down so far, though. And well, now 4 retirees: E.J. O'Rourke, Brian Rogers Jr., Bennett Atkins, Michael Holtzclaw, 19th through dead last and 22nd, rounding out your field here so far this evening. Justin Fuller continues to stretch him out, now 1.5 seconds in front. And again, if you were with us for round 11 in race 2 of the championship, Justin Fuller in control, a dominant race car early en route to take the W, and he had the championship lead by 1 over the last week's winner, Brandon Odo, so he would be in the spot right now to be locking up his championship. Instead, got taken out of that race. It's a bittersweet performance for him tonight, but he's running just as he has all season long, and unfortunately, not going to be an opportunity tonight to pick up a 4th championship. Again, we talk about streaks of dominance. Justin Fuller, 3-time champion, took home the Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3 titles for the Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series. Brandon Odo picked up his first one last season, and in Season 5 here, trying to lock up his second, looking to be the second driver to take more than 1 championship.
Joshua Cotton wants to put his name on the championship list, and so far, night started out good, then it went downhill. We thought that he wasn't going to be a factor for the championship. Then halfway comes around, and here we go. Joshua Cotton sitting in the top 3, and Brandon Odo was outside of the top 10. Odo has since then worked his way up to 9th. Cotton still holds on to that 3rd spot. Cotton still hoping that something bad happens to Brandon Odo to knock him outside of that top 10 to give him a chance at walking out of here with the championship this season. A good run for Cotton, despite the troubles early on, falling back, and he takes the 2 tires on the strategy at the halfway breaker, or when the caution came out just past the halfway point there. He's had a good run ever since then. He's held on to that 3rd spot, trying to hold off Rasmussen and Charlie Ryan right now as we race to complete lap 142.
And that means going to be at 50 laps to go in just a moment. But a couple of battles on track. Joshua Cotton still in 3rd, still Rasmussen, still Ryan on the back bumper. Other than that, Al Smith Jr., A.J. Bunch, T.J. Graves, Brandon Odo through 9th, and even all the way through the top 10 with A.J. Hamill and Danny DeBuke. Most of those guys are working with a 2nd in front and behind them of space. No immediate battles on the racetrack. And once we hit the lap 150 mark, and it really technically the lap 150 would mark, going to be at the point at which would have been the longest point we've gone all season long, every single race in the regular season, totaling in at 100 laps in distance. But we cranked it up for the chase for the championship. First 2 races at 150, tonight's season finale, the longest and most prestigious of them all. At the New Smyrna Speedway, 200 laps in total distance. Justin Fuller has led most of it. He's got bonus points for most laps led locked up. We talked about the fact that his hopes are not dashed mathematically into tonight's race for the championship, but being 17 points back, and with Cotton running in third, and then Odo, the driver that is 17 points in front of him, running in ninth spot. Nothing brewing for the 51, who wants to walk away, though, with what would be a 4th win on the season. It would have put him twice as much as the next closest driver if he can lock this thing up. Brandon Odo, the next closest, with 2 wins so far on the year. At 51, he's in his zone. He knows what he's doing. He's no stranger to winning races on short tracks at LSRTV, and he's doing his thing. He's got clean track for a couple more laps. Jay DeBook, Justin McDuffin, and a bunch of friends are going to be there shortly, though, so the 51 not in the clear. He'll be catching some lap traffic in a bit.
That he will. And LeVere, and the first long green flag run that we had, about this time, he started ticking off on Fuller's lead. We'll see if that happens this time by LeVere. When he started ticking off the last green flag run, he was 4 seconds back. This time he's only 2 seconds back. So it's going to be interesting to see. And remember, we still have that 75 lap break, since we have been ticking off green flag laps here for quite a while now. That 75 lap break still a factor in the closing laps as we do hit that lap 50 mark. 50 laps to go here at New Smyrna Speedway for Justin Fuller this time by.
And as we get inside of the final 50 laps for the virtual New Smyrna Speedway, we'll step away one final time on LSRTV, and we'll go LSRTV non-stop. So you don't miss a moment of the action. It is Justin Fuller in front, but the eye is on Joshua Cotton third, but Brandon Odo in ninth at the moment, hanging on to what would be a second consecutive Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series champion, back for the finish here for the New Smyrna Speedway in Samsula, Florida. When we return, you're watching LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
It is still Justin Fuller, now 162 laps down and inside of the final 40 laps in the season finale for the 2015-2016 Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated Pro Late Model Series and tonight's Les Enterprises MP Roy 200. Conveniently enough, brought to you by none other than Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated, a distributor and retailer of motorsports products, including electronic communications, safety equipment, and race car bodies. Find out more at LesEnterprisesMPRoyInc.com. It is Fuller, LeVere, Cotton, Rasmussen, and Ryan inside of the top 5. But the driver on the charge, take it all the insurance he can get. His championship leader, Brandon Odo, needs to stay within 7 positions of Joshua Cotton to win the championship. And with the pass on AJ Bunch for 7th, he's within 4, back in 7th position.
That's exactly what he needs, but he's not pulling away from AJ Bunch like he needs to. TJ Graves sits there as well. Graves tagged a wall when we were under break. And then you go back to AJ Hamill. He's a little bit further back, but if I'm Brandon Odo, I'm wanting to put as much distance as I can between these guys because you never know what's going to happen. We still do have that caution break coming up in probably 10 or so laps, 10, 15 laps, I'm guessing, since we have been going green flag racing for 75 laps. So that's going to get interesting. Pit strategy definitely going to be a factor when that caution flag flies, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen when everybody comes down. Do we see 4? Do we see 2? Do we see no tires? It's going to get interesting to set us up for a dash to the finish.
And the suspense isn't there, which is interesting because we know it's going to happen. A lot of the time, you get down to the final 30 laps, and it can go 50-50. You're hoping that you don't see a yellow. Some guys are hoping they do. They know it's coming, and roughly they know when it's going to be here, which is why I think things are rather calm at the moment, because these guys know it doesn't matter what you do now. What really matters is, as you said, strategy on the pit stop and then that late race restart.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting. We've seen a little bit of bumping and banging in these first 170, 75 laps. You're going to see a lot of bumping and banging in the last 20 or so when we get down to the nitty-gritty. And on that final restart, I don't think this caution coming up is going to be the last caution before we get to the checkered flag here in New Smyrna.
Inside of 30 laps to go, you have to think that yellow is going to be within 10 to 15 laps from now. The 10 drivers on the lead lap, there is plenty of strategy available, especially considering the fact that we do have 2 sets of tires available to these guys tonight. Normally, only 1 set for tires on the pit lane. Tonight, 2 sets of tires opens up a wide range of possibilities. And for our leaders, who for the most part should all have 4 tires still sitting down in their pit stall, you would have to think that could be the go-to call. However, I was skeptical about the call by Joshua Cotton, Ben, to take 2. He's still riding in 3rd, which, although he was the race leader when he took the 2 tires, he fell to 3rd rather quickly. I was expecting him to fall much further than that. It worked out okay. The bad news is, though, I don't think you can get away with taking 2 right side tires only twice in a row. These guys take 2. They've got newer left sides than you do.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting part to this equation. Does he take 4? Or does he take 2? Does everybody else around him take 4? Do they take... that late in the run, you got to go with 2. There's not going to be that many laps left, and you see the success that Cotton has had with the 2 tires. If I'm one of these leaders, you got to take 2. Maybe somebody in the back of the pack who has nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose, maybe they take no tires. Get out of there with the lead and hope for a bunch of cautions at the finish of this thing and hope to steal one maybe from Justin Fuller, CJ LeVere, Joshua Cotton. It's going to be interesting. We know the caution's coming. Don't know the exact lap, but we do know it's coming, and we know that it's going to set us up for a late race restart. It's what's going to happen during that caution on pit road that's all the anticipation leads to.
Now inside of the final 25 laps on the 5th installment of this Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series, one of the most competitive seasons we've seen and one of the more shocking and thrilling chase for the championships as well in recent memory. About to wrap up, but it is still far from over because next time by, 22 laps to go. You're waiting for the yellow to drop at any moment, and these guys are already starting to think, as we mentioned the last couple of laps, towards the pit strategy. Nothing going on track right now, and we're really not surprised by that at all. Closest battle is Brandon Otto and AJ Bunch for 7th and 8th position. Those guys are teammates, and they really have no reason to be getting aggressive with each other, so I don't expect anything to come from that. It's a waiting game. You wait, and then you're going to have to deal with the cards that you're dealt with and go for it. When we do go back green, it's going to be well within inside of the final 15 laps for the new Smyrna Speedway. With that being said, going to be in a spot where obviously a couple of late race caution flags, couple of late race restarts may still be on the horizon. But for Justin Fuller, you can't say enough about, I mentioned the chip that he drives on his shoulder with, especially here tonight. We mentioned TJ Graves, the guy that has had a rough season, looking for some redemption. Just a cruddy deal for Justin Fuller last week. Got totaled, went from the top spot in that race and top spot of the championship to being racked out. He leads here tonight, and there is your competition caution at 18 laps to go.
Whew. All right, time to catch our breath, because it's about to get fun on pit road, and it's sure enough going to be fun on this restart. This could be the last restart of the night. I don't think it will be, just with the cards that you have on the table and everything on the line here in the final race of the season. Everybody wants to win, and you still have that championship up for grabs. Fuller going to be the first down pit road. Who else comes down, and what do they do? It's going to be the question. Cotton stays out. Cotton will stay out on this round of pit stops.
Oh boy. Joshua Cotton stays on the outside of the pit lane wall. He'll go to the race lead. Justin Fuller, though, down pit road, right side tires. Going to go up on the number 51 entry, rolling through and out of the pit lane. Either a missed pit stall or a strategy call for Charlie Ryan. He takes no tires. Fuller going to sit down there. He'll take the works. 4 tires going on board that car. CJ Lavera is off in the pit lane with just 2. And a 51 machine going to lead him off with 4 tires, and the call by Brandon Otto in the number 24 machine. That second driver in the championship conversation is to stay out. The 24 as well did not come down.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so Cotton didn't pit. Al Smith Jr. did not pit. Odo did not pit. Bunch did not pit. Lavere will be the first car that came down. He will restart 5th with 2 tires. Gadet has 2 tires. Fuller, 4. Rasmussen, 4. Everybody else behind him has 4 fresh Hoosier Racing tires. Just he'll restart this race 9th with less than 15 laps to go. You can't write this stuff. WWE couldn't write a script as good as this.
And if I'm that 24, I would have wanted to take the tires and be safe, Ben. But I mentioned, because we're going to be within inside of the final 15, we can get a bunch of yellows here. Joshua Cotton could win this race. That's why the 24 couldn't take 4 tires and be sitting back in 9th or 10th. He had to stay out because the 81 could still win this.
The only thing you have to worry about if you're Brandon Otto now is not taking those tires. You're going to be just a row ahead of everybody that did. And you're going to be worried about how fast they want to get to the front. And if you're in their way, I mean, you could be in between their way and the checkered flag at the end of this thing in victory lane. So if I'm Odo, you got to try and stay close to the front, but you can't get in anybody's way enough for them to turn you around, because you cannot afford to be turned around backwards here. And Joshua Cotton leading this thing. It's gonna get fun.
He will lead. He's choosing the outside, and he's not the only driver that stays out, because the 20 of Al Smith Jr. does as well. He'll be on the inside of the front row for what could be the final time. Pace car down, 13 laps to go. Green flag for the new Smyrna Speedway, and Joshua Cotton is gone. Battle for second. There's contact. AJ Bunch going to get turned around in front of the field in turn number 2. Caution flag is out. Brandon Otto sneaks through.
Well, I don't think we were really surprised that the caution was going to fly again, but how quick it did down in turn number 1. That was Very interesting. Bunch tries to slide down in front of Al Smith Jr. There just was not a lane there. Bunch overcorrects and then gets into Justin Fuller, who put on a heck of a save. I don't know how he kept that car straight. Odo, he does get a little bit of damage. He made some contact with the 22 and he got hit from behind pretty hard. Will that be enough damage to the 24 to affect the car? On this next restart here, it's going to get interesting because this next restart is going to come with 6 laps to go.
And that 24 machine looks like he's staying out. He is not electing to come down pit road and be serviced because now Joshua Cotton is leading this race. Brandon Odo is 7th. And we mentioned the magic number was 7. Again, the scenarios for Joshua Cotton to win this race is if he leads a lap. Brandon Odo needs to finish 8 laps behind, or 8 spots behind, but lead no laps. So Joshua Cotton with the win, however, would pick up an additional bonus point. It wouldn't be far-fetched to say that the way we sit right now could be a virtual draw.
And who's to say that Odo's not going to pick up any positions on this restart? Who's to say that somebody isn't going to get into him on this restart? Who's to say nobody's going to pass him on this restart? Of course, all that situation goes for the same up in the front of the field, Joshua Cotton as well. He's got a little bit of assurance with Al Smith Jr., who took no tires, but CJ LeVere going to be starting 1 row behind him. TJ Graves going to be starting on that same row right behind him. Graves, we know, is desperate for a win, and he'd wreck his grandmother, I think, tonight to win this race. So if Cotton gets in his way, championship or not, TJ Graves, you can rest assured, is going to be applying the bumper.
I think this was the best case scenario for Cotton. Is we mentioned you can take 2 tires again, but the guys behind you obviously are at an advantage. Well, the 81 knows that he is not the fastest car on track. There's no disputing that. But he needs to be in front, and he needs yellows to burn up 5 laps at a time. That quick yellow was perfect for the 81. He needs 1 or 2 more of those.
Well, he's hoping they go green and wreck again right here, and he's hoping they go green the next time and wreck right off the bat again, and he's hoping that Odo is in one of those crashes because he would just about secure the championship if that was the case. Lights go out on the pace car. Take a deep breath. You got a half a mile to do it because things are about to get heated again. Cotton and Al Smith Jr. going to share the front row. Row 2 going to be TJ Graves and CJ LeVere. Then Justin Fuller, who has dominated this race. He'll start alongside Nicholas Rasmussen. And then right behind him, it's Odo and Ryan as they head through 3 and 4 coming to the restart.
It'll be 7 laps to go on the season. Pace car down, Cotton top side on the gas pedal. Green flag back in the air, backing away for what could be the final time tonight. The 81. He'll lead us down to turn number 1. The battle going to be for second. Top side, Graves, the 44. A 3-car battle, 3 wide for second. As LeVere to the inside, there's lots of contact. Graves sideways, the 20, the 51. They all scatter in a big accident. In turn number 4. Brandon Odo is involved.
Odo still involved, but a lot of cars were taken out in front of him. We'll wait for everything to sort out before we say anything, but oh my goodness. We knew it was coming, we just didn't know it was going to be that big. Fuller
There's
was
just not
involved,
enough room for
Odo
those guys
involved.
trying that.
Yeah.
And we knew it was coming. It wasn't surprising. But, I mean, 3 and 4 wide. And CJ LeVere goes to the inside. We talked about him being a somewhat conservative driver. Well, it gets down to the end. You got to go for it. And they did a good job of hanging on for the most part. But eventually, you got guys start bouncing off of the inside fence and coming up. And that was big junk. Odo was involved, but he got the shorter, or he didn't get the shorter end of the straw. That there's a lot of guys that got a lot more torn up than he did.
Odo scored 5th. He went into the outside wall pretty straightforward, a hard hit. You have to look at the guys behind him now. If we even restart the race, that's going to be the next question.
Yeah, the caution came at 6 laps to go. We say if it's within inside of the final 5, you could pretty much call it. This one still going to be tight. I do think we may see one final restart. And again, Joshua Cotton has a bonus point over Brandon and Odo, so the gap is 8 points. You can give him a bonus point. But as well, for winning the race, It'd be substantially more points than if it would be talking about a difference between second and sixth. First and fifth is a little bit higher of a differential. So we are going to have to wait and see. It is still close, and if we do get a one-lap shootout, if we do get a green-white checker, we'll find out this time by. If the lights go off, we will have a 0.48-mile dash to the finish to close off the season. If the lights stay on, this race will come to a finish under the slowed pace. So we'll take a look at the lights on the pace car. The 81 of Joshua Cotton, though, kind of wants this one to go back green, although he's not officially done so with Brandon Otto in P5. Lights on the pace car will stay on. This race will not be restarted.
Joshua Cotton gonna win this thing, and unofficially, Brandon Otto with the 5th place finish. Had he been involved in that crash a little bit more severely, it could be a difference. But Brandon Otto officially gonna walk out of here with the championship here tonight at New Smyrna Speedway. What he has to do is go through 3 and 4, pick up the white flag, and pick up the checkered flag. Next time by, we're coming to complete lap 199. It'll put us on the final lap here at New Smyrna Speedway. Joshua Cotton did what he had to do. He led some laps. He's going to win the race, but Otto was just in the right place at the right time when that accident occurred. He got a little bit in it, but not too much, and he's going to go on to win this championship.
So Joshua Cotton, as we said at the top of the broadcast, does everything that he could possibly do. He'll win the season finale and pick up his 4th career Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series checkered flag and 2nd on the season. But unofficially, based on the numbers given to us, Brandon Otto going to come across the start-finish line, checker and yellow alongside. And now a back-to-back 2-time champion in the Upstate Racing League, Brandon Otto, unofficially securing the points championship here tonight. And there is no immediate celebration because they are going to go and crunch the numbers to make sure that everything is official. A congratulatory bump to the 81 of Joshua Cotton from Nicholas Rasmussen at a 24 as well. Going to pull up alongside him. So just as the drivers do while we wait for the official points to come out, we'll step away and return to New Smyrna Speedway in a moment. Provisionally, Brandon Otto is your unofficial Season 5 Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series champion. The post-race show and a championship presentation when we return. We're back live at the virtual New Smyrna Speedway, and they're pushing the numbers, and you talk about a close call. The bonus points, the win for Joshua Cotton tonight. It's starting to look like, and again, we await for the official results, but we do have a tie in the championship between Brandon Odo and Joshua Cotton. Overall, they're going to walk at it tonight with the same amount of points, and now currently race control. Ben, looking over the tiebreaker rules, you talk about this one coming down to the very end.
Oh man, like you said, we might have got it too early saying that Odo was unofficially the champion. We go to the tiebreaker rules. You couldn't have asked for a better season finale than we just witnessed right here in New Smyrna Speedway. 200 laps. Both drivers had their ups and their downs. Everybody in the whole field had their ups and their downs. Overall, just a spectacular race between the racing for the lead, the racing for second, third, and the battle for the championship going on all in the mix of that. It was unbelievable. And the 75-lap caution rule, where we have the green flag run and then we throw the caution, that rule implemented into tonight's race for the longer race, that is what really just set this race up to have a spectacular finish the way it did, and that really changed the face of this race for a lot of these drivers in the field.
So while we wait the official word, we'll talk with some of your top finishers. Caught up down trackside with the driver of the number 16 machine. Charlie Ryan comes home in third tonight. Charlie, congratulations to you. A lot going on in those final couple of laps as well, with the 75-lap caution rule bringing the yellow out late. You end up on the podium after all of that mayhem, but you started back in 13th. I'd say it was a pretty good night for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was a career night. I mean, this is my first time getting interviewed by you guys and stuff, but I mean, it was definitely a blast there. I mean, I just to start off, I mean, I don't know if anyone has told you guys to spill the beans or anything, but Josh actually locked up the championship on a tiebreaker. So a big shout out to him. I mean, close friend of mine. Very, very proud of him. That was cool.
We were just talking about how it did come down to a tie, and because it was 2 wins now for both of those drivers, the tiebreaker is the highest result tonight. Joshua Cotton wins, and he will be the Season 5 Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series champion. And for you, we talked a lot about redemption tonight. We talked about guys like TJ Graves looking to have a good nighter, as well guys like Justin Fuller trying to finish off the season on a good note. For you to get the career best result here tonight at the end of the season, kind of bittersweet it would be, because you would like to get that earlier and to build upon that. I'd have to think that it's a good way for you guys to go off with and build upon going forward into the next season.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, last week, was a serious heartbreak. I mean, I felt like I had the 2-tire thing kind of down, and I barely got into Steven, and he just felt. I mean, you guys saw it, but it sucks because I feel like with those 2 fresh tires and the way Odo was getting tight there towards the end, it would have been close. But I mean, still, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, this is my first race at New Smyrna and stuff, so I mean, it's a sign of good things to come, and wanted to give a shout out to Red, Apoleo, and stuff like that, and thank you guys for up in the booth for making such an awesome broadcast every week.
We're happy that we got an opportunity to talk to you this season, and that 16 went through quite a lot tonight, but we're happy to see you able to walk home on the podium. Congratulations tonight on the solid finish. Congratulations as well on improving throughout the year. Hopefully we'll see you in that 16 machine back out on track when we look forward into Season 6. We'll see you then.
All right, see ya.
So that is Charlie Ryan, third in tonight's race. We'll talk with the championship victor, Joshua Cotton, in a moment, Ben. And as those numbers are doubled and triple checked, we'll go down trackside with you to Nicholas Rasmussen.
Oh man, unbelievable night, Nicholas Rasmussen. You were in the middle of it mostly. You're going to come out of here with a top 3 finish, it looks like, in the championship standings at the finish of this thing. A P2 finish tonight. We've talked before. We get to talk again. Walk us through your night. You had some ups and downs, but it lands you in second place at the finish of this thing tonight.
Yeah, all in all, it was a good race. The first stint, I pretty much burnt my tires a little bit too much. So after the first pit stop, I tried to take notice from that and learn from it. Tried a somewhat higher line, and then worked out, and then it just settled behind behind Cotton. I pretty much knew that I didn't really have anything to lose, so I just decided that way early on that on the last caution I was going to take, well, not the last caution, the last competition caution, I was going to take tires, just try something out, and yep, it worked well. I feel like it was the right call, and second place is a good finish. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with today's result.
You talk about taking the tires on the last competition caution there. That puts you a little further back in the field. But that was a good thing because they wrecked right in front of you. Walk us through how you got through both of those final two incidents that ended up taking this race to the checkered flag.
There's not really a way to get through it. I mean, these things happen so quickly that you just decide on one way to go. I early on decided that I was going to use the top line, the very top line, almost right against the wall. And luckily that got me out of most of the trouble. I took a little bit of a hit, but I got through it. So yeah, I mean, I again decided early on that that was what I was going to do, and I had a plan. And I feel like having a plan sometimes can really benefit you because you're more confident, and it fortunately turned out to be true this time, because probably more luck than I make it sound like.
Most definitely. You guys had an unbelievable season in the 71. Grabbed a couple of wins, or a win, I should say. Overall, how happy are you for your? How happy are you with this season here in season 5 with Upstate?
I'm honestly very happy, man. I feel like we have improved a lot, especially compared to last season. We took our maiden win, which was obviously very special. The only thing that you kind of look back on is at South Boston last week, where I blew my motor. I took a lot of damage, and with 20 laps to go, I blew my motor, and that was kind of unfortunate because I would have liked to be there at the end, but obviously that's not something we could do about it. I feel like we have been good with our strategy and focusing on the right things. So honestly, coming into this season, we were not expecting to do as well. So it's obviously a good feeling, and I already look forward to next season.
Next season is going to be a fun one. That's season 6. Nicholas Rasmussen, he's going to be back with us. Nicholas, for this season, though, who you want to thank?
And I really got to thank the Upstate Racing League, Al Smith Jr. Wow, what a league you have put together. We have had some incredible racing here, and Al, you will really deserve it. Also, I want to thank my Team NHR Racing team, Trifectra. I need to thank them a lot. My sponsor, Smith Media Production, Finn Olsen VVS, MP Roy Series sponsor, Rapido Travel, and Kasper Trane, who has been helping me and supporting me a lot. My crew chief, Henrik Rasmussen, and last but not the least, you guys in the booth. You have produced some great broadcasts. I've enjoyed every one of them. I know how much you've been going through. I'm almost speechless because I'm just so happy with how the season has went. And we may not have gotten the championship, but we were in contention, and we need to be happy about that.
Most definitely, like I say, going to walk out top 3 finish in the championship standings after an unbelievable season, and hopefully next season we'll be talking to you down in the championship presentations, hoisting that trophy. We'll have to wait and see how next season goes. Congratulations on this season, and we look forward to next season with you.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Nicholas Rasmussen went home second in tonight's race, third in the championship standings unofficially. And Evan, do we have an official word on who the champion is yet?
Well, they're both going to walk out of tonight with a total at the end of it all of what's going to be 5,130 points. The tiebreaker going to go in favor of tonight's winner. Joshua Cotton steals it with a strategy call at the end. He'll walk away the winner, and he'll walk away as the first-time Upstate Racing League champion. So for the official trophy presentation, I'll pass the mic over to Upstate Racing League Administrator Al Smith.
Thanks, Evan, and man, what a race that was. Kind of thought that the competition caution at the end there was gonna raise some havoc, and it sure did. And Josh, you're quiet all season long, and you come out. So on behalf of LA Enterprises, MP Roy Inc., and everybody here at the Upstate Racing League, congratulations on winning the 2015-2016 Pro Late Model Championship.
Yeah, thank you, Al.
Josh, talk about coming in clutch. We mentioned at this top of the broadcast that you could do everything possible tonight and still lose this. You could lead 200 laps and not win the championship. Well, it wasn't that easy for you, but you out-qualified the 24, ran in front of them for a lot of the night, and then a two-tire call to stay out in front, and then you decide to stay out at the end, and that turns out to be the call to get you the big hardware, sir. What went behind that decision, and what are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I got lucky, I'll say that. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it because Odo was so fast. And yeah, I came in for 2 and then came back in for another 2, and I didn't take enough fuel. So that whole last run there, I was trying to save fuel. That's why I was so slow. And when I saw those guys pit, I was like, well, I'll stay out and just kind of hope for some quick yellows, and it turned out to be that way.
So you look back on the season now, and as Al said, kind of under the radar in this one. It is your second checkered flag on the year, 4th career in the Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series. Couldn't have come at a better time that we talked about Brandon Otto rising to the occasion, getting the 2 wins, and those 2 wins almost overshadowed the great performance that you had in the first 2 rounds of the chase that put you in a spot that winning tonight's race could get it for you.
Yeah, I think I got a 4th and a 2nd before this. I mean, it's not too shabby, just his 2 wins. Obviously, you can't beat first, so I don't know, I'm still in shock, honestly.
It is a difficult series to win, and not only is short track racing unpredictable, but you take the unpredictability of that and you combine that with the unpredictability of the chase format, and we get a lot of unpredictability. And we saw that at tonight, up and down, and then the way it worked out with that 75-lap caution rule being implemented from the start, that last green flag run just happened to set everybody up for that late race yellow inside of the final 20 laps. Knowing that that was approaching, were you pretty locked in on what your strategy was going to be, what was going through your head there coming down to the end? Because we were quite spread out for the most part, I'd say for 30 or 35 laps up until that final caution, or rather the caution flag that it came with. I think it was 18 laps to go. You had a lot of time to think about it. Were you second guessing yourself?
No, I was definitely going to do a 1 pit stop race. I was honestly surprised that Fuller pitted. I thought he would stay out and just use the track position because it was really hard to pass there, at least for me. And I just tried to stay up front. And I mean, I didn't want the quick yellows, but they definitely helped like that.
You are now the 3rd driver to win an Upstate Racing League championship. The talk was about Brandon Otto trying to pick up his 2nd and join Justin Fuller as the multi-time champion. You etch your name, though, into the history books, and I think based on all of the seasons that we've had the opportunity to cover, the most competitive season of competition that we've ever seen. And I know it's got to feel good for you, and I know it hasn't quite sunk in yet, but you are the Season 5 Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series champion. That's got a good ring to it.
Yeah, it'll sink in the morning, maybe.
Well, hey, I know you want to get back and celebrate with some of the guys, and it has been a hell of a ride for you guys. And getting the win tonight against all odds, I'm sure if you go back and watch it, I think we doubted and questioned the strategy that you made a couple of times tonight, but we also said that you had no other choice. Well, your back was up against the wall, sir, and you executed. So we had a couple of opportunities to talk with you throughout the year. For one final time, and now talking to you as our champion, sir, the sponsors, the shout-outs, the people behind the scenes, who do you want to thank for making this possible for you?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to Perry Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling for sponsoring me for these last couple races. Can-Am Racing Series, Greg Netherwood, Chris Cable, Mike King, Charlie Ryan, Rodney Hack, all them. Upstate Race, of course, or Upstate Racing League, of course, this league. You guys for your broadcast, and just give a shout out to Laura. We're all pulling for her to pull through on this one.
Well, sir, congratulations on the championship. Again, you worked a lot for it, and kind of as an underdog as well. It was a refreshing scene to see, and you surprised us all season long, and you surprised us when we found out after we stepped away, and we said that Brandon Otto is your unofficial champion, because based on the numbers that we had, it looked like he had it, but we said unofficial because we knew that you got that win. And that win, again, if you finished second one spot lower and he finished sixth one spot lower, you don't win the championship. That win was key, sir, and I want to thank you for sticking around and chatting with us again. Congratulations. Best of luck in the offseason, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Season 6 when you come on a title defense. We'll see you then, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That is your 2015-2016 Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MPRO Incorporated Pro Late Model Series champion. Winner tonight at the New Smyrna Speedway, Joshua Cotton. And the driver on the other end of that spectrum, Ben Kilcrease, is Brandon Otto. So close. In fact, well, he did get the most points out of anybody all season, but he doesn't get it in the tiebreaker. Brandon Otto falls 1 point short or 0 points short of becoming a multi-time and a back-to-back champion. He comes home second in the season, 5 points at the end of the Upstate chase for the championship, and you have caught up with the driver of the 24 down on pit road.
Down here with Brandon Odo, 5th place tonight, and he doesn't want to hear this, but 2nd place in championship standings. Oh, man, up and down night for you. You were up there top 3 at one point. We thought you had it locked up, and then the halfway point comes around, and you're outside the top 10. Just walk us through your night and maybe what you could have done a little bit differently to land you in the with the championship walking out of here from New Smyrna.
Yeah, I mean, terrible night altogether. I really couldn't figure out how to drive the track. I still don't even know what I'm doing out there. Just trying to kind of nurse the car home to a decent finish, and I knew we were going to get that competition caution late in the race, and I knew it was going to make some havoc out there, but we ended up limping it home to 5th. We had a few horrible restarts, a few wrecks in front of us, but all in all, I know me and Cotton tied at the end. In previous years we had a few different rules, as far as tiebreakers, things like that, and it's just really terrible to do this well in the chase and come home with a 5th place finish in the last race and still not win the championship. It's really disappointing. We had such a great year. I really thought we had something this year, and it was my race to lose. And if we would have had just a one position better finish or not hit the wall a couple times, I think we probably would have walked away with this one.
Obviously disappointed over tonight's race and how the championship laid out, but overall, an unbelievable season, a great season for you in the 24 machine. 8 top 10s, 6 top 5s, and you check those off with 2 wins throughout the season. A good season, and I'm sure you'll be back next season to try and go after Cotton's defense on the title there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back out there next year. Hopefully with a few more wins. I know we got at least 2 wins stolen from us this year. We've led all the laps. So if you take some of those out of the question and we get a couple more wins of the season, this is our championship next year. So we'll be coming for them.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to seeing you. 5th place tonight, 2nd in the championship. Who do you want to thank for your season?
Well, I have quite the list here to thank. I've got to thank everybody in Studio 417 here at Alfred State. Mary Allen, Nick Graziosi, Ryan Dubray, I should say, and Chris Platt, everybody up in the studio right now, Colin Davidson, Shannon Fay. Everybody watching from pole position, Dylan York, Sam Junkin, Danielle Jones, I think Joe Grab might be watching too. Everybody who always watches me every week, Daniel Morrill, Ed Neal, Mike Tedonio, Kenny Hana, my dad, my grandparents, everybody who's watching tonight. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for you guys up in the broadcast booth. And we're all pulling for you, Laura. We hope you pull through. We're all with you. So,
Appreciate the kind words, and we'll see you next season. Season 6 here in the Upstate Racing League for the Pro Late Models. Evan, that's Brandon Odo. Sounds a little bit disappointed, but he can't hang his head too much. 2nd place in the championship, tying with a 5th place finish tonight. Overall, a great season for Odo.
And you can't get any closer. Again, I say that he walks away 1 point short, but he didn't. He got the most points out of anybody on the season. Unfortunately, with the tiebreaker, it is not a championship for him, but for the second year in a row, he does accumulate the most points through the entire year. And I do want to bring the mic back to League Administrator Al Smith Jr. Al, Joshua Cotton is our Season 5 champion for the Lays Enterprises MPRA Incorporated Pro Late Model Series. As a series director, I don't think you could ask for much more than a championship coming down to a virtual tie with one of the bigger names in the series and an up-and-coming star in Joshua Cotton going head-to-head.
Yeah, I'm sitting here just looking through all the results, and it looked like Odo had just one too many contacts, not of his doing, that ended up taking the championship away. So, but I mean, hats off to co-champs, however you wanna put it. I think Josh will represent the league very well and becoming our third different champion. And I mean, you can't take anything away from Odo. He was right there at the end and doing everything he had pretty much to do. I think those last two yellows really cost him.
The Upstate Racing League, one of our favorite series we get to cover here on Thursday nights, and it comes in the winter months and in the winter racing calendar. A lot of the series we do, like on Friday nights, you wrap up the season. The next season starts the week after. If you're talking about RSR, season comes to a close. The next season starts right back up. We're not going to see this Pro Late Model Series for quite some time, though, but the 2016 and 17 calendar not all that far away when you think about it. I know it's going to feel a long time for guys like Brandon Odo, guys like Justin Fuller, who feel like maybe they should be walking away with the trophy coming so close but not being able to close the deal off. I know, though, for people that want to get involved in that series, they're not all that far away from getting involved with you guys either. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit as well of what you guys have in store for Season 6.
Yeah, right now, tomorrow morning, we're going to open up registration for our approval series, which kicks off in May and will run till mid-August. And just looking for some new drivers. So if anybody's out there looking to get involved and have a good racing league, that we run a fixed setup, so whatever iRacing provides us, regardless of if it's good or bad, sometimes it's not very good, but we deal with it, and we got the best drivers that can get anything done with any of those setups. So we're doing a really good job, and really proud of everybody, and we had a really good season. I mean, I think we averaged like around 28 cars a race, so I was really happy with that and get tons of messages. And so registration will open up, and then we'll run those races throughout the summer, and then we head right back into it again in September. It's like you said, not too far away, and we expanded our season a little bit, a couple more races. The chase will be 5 races next year, and we're going back to some oldies but favorites here on the sim.
We look forward to that Season 6 calendar, and whenever we talk to a driver, they normally thank us for doing our thing, and then they thank you for doing your thing as well, Al. We want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of this championship and for helping us out week to week. Big part of making our jobs a lot easier and having these broadcasts be what they are. But as the series administrator, I want to give you an opportunity to thank the people that help you out behind the scenes to continue to grow this Upstate Racing League into what it's starting to become.
Yeah, thanks. Like I said, you guys make it happen and get us out there and seen. But we have a lot of guys behind. I got to thank Dan Dubuque. He's our partner in crime here with all his. He helps out with the sponsoring marketing. So if anybody's out there looking to get involved as a sponsor, contact us through our website with Dan Dubuque and or myself. And I just got to thank Lay Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated for stepping up, being the title sponsor this season. Ada Sign Wraps, Barno Construction, NHR Racing Team, Lake City Hobbies, Hanson Starter Shop, Lake City RC Speedway, iRacing Memes, Hag TV, CKF Construction, and Brian Roger Motorsports. Without all those guys, none of this could come true.
Well, I want to thank you for making another season come through, and I want to thank you again for allowing us to be a part of it, and congratulations as well for you for getting some good finishes this year, but as well on the administration side of things, because you're getting the recognition, and the series is getting the recognition that you guys deserve. So again, thanks. We're looking forward to working with you in 2016, but we're really looking forward to September. We'll see you then.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great night, and we're with Laura, and please help her out, and we're all there for you, Laura.
And we're going to step away here shortly so we can give Laura a little bit of a break. But Ben, before we do so, you were able to join me here on Thursday nights for the majority of this chase, and then as well, really the last couple of races total on the calendar. I've had the opportunity to see these guys for the last couple of years, and I'm not surprised. But for what was a relatively small series on the sim, starting to grow, you got some of the bigger names in sim racing here. September's not that far away, but it's going to feel like a long time until we get there.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'm going to put a countdown clock on my phone just so I can look at it every day and hope that it speeds up here and there. But September, it's going to get here. It's going to feel like a long time because we're going to have real racing kick back up throughout the summer months. But they still got a lot of action going on over here at Upstate. So if you get a chance, I highly suggest racing with them. You see the kind of racing they put on. It's fun, tight, good racing, good short track racing. But September can't get here quick enough. I can't wait. I hope you guys will have me back for next season. I'm already looking forward to it. So I'd like to be back up in the booth if it's all right with you.
I think we can arrange that as well.
We can work that out. 10-4.
We can make it work. And 12 races championship now into the books. And as you heard Al say, we got more than 12 races coming for 2016, 2017. If you're not on track, we hope to see you with us on Thursday night, starting in September on LSRTV at iRacing Live. But if you know a thing or two about driving on the sim, UpstateRacingLeague.com. Get involved again tomorrow. Registration opens for the qualification and approval series that runs throughout the summer months. And then if you could race and compete in that series, then we'll see you and you'll see yourself on LSRTV when it comes the fall. But until next time, another season of Upstate Racing League competition is in the books. And we bid you good night for the new Smyrna Speedway. Big thanks to all of the partners at the Upstate Racing League, Les Enterprises, MP Roy. A huge shout out to them for becoming the title sponsor of this series. As well, a big thanks to A to Zod Wraps at HR Racing, CFK Construction, Mach 2 Management, Hag TV, iRacing Beams, Varno Construction, Lake City RC Speedway, Hanson Starter Shop. There's so many more out there. Thanks to everybody for making this possible. And thanks to you for being a viewer and joining us on Thursday night. So until next time, on behalf of everybody at LSRTV, I want to bid you good night for the new Smyrna Speedway. On behalf of myself, for Evan Pasoko, Ben Kilcrease, and LSRTV's executive producer, Laura Lawson, congratulations to tonight's winner in 2016 Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series champion, Joshua Cotton. Joins Justin Fuller and Brandon Otto at the top of the Upstate Racing League Hall of Fame, now a champion. We bid you good night, and we will see you in September when we go back racing once again. And you can find the Upstate Racing League, as always, right here on LSR TV, the voice of sim racing.